So today I'm going to be installing a diesel fuel transfer tank in the back of my Cummins. I figured I'd make a quick video on this, just showing the install process. The main purpose of buying this is so that I don't have to continue to carry around 5-gallon gas cans to fill up my tractor every time I go on a job, or just doing stuff around the property. I'm just tired of hauling around 5-gallon cans all the time and trying to get the nozzles to fit inside the cans and all that. It's kind of a pain. Plus, just fueling these up alone could be a pain. So it's gonna be nice just having my own fuel tank right here that's gonna have an electric pump on it, and I'll be able to just pull the tractor up next to the truck and fill it up, because pretty much anywhere my tractor is, my truck is usually gonna be there too. So it's gonna be really nice on jobs, especially if I forget to get some diesel before I go, or I realize that I get there and this thing's on empty. At least I'll always have some diesel in this tank. I got the transfer tank up at Tractor Supply, and I got this on sale. It was like $400 marked down to, I got it for like 270 bucks. So that was a really good deal. This transfer pump here, I got this on sale as well. This was like $470. I got it marked down to like $280. So that was a really good deal. And this is their premium pump. It's 15 GPM. It's actually got the locking handle where you don't have to stand there and hold it the whole time, so it'll just pop off when it is full. So that's gonna be nice. And I also did buy this, which this is only like 25 bucks, I think. And this is gonna be an inline filter. It's a fuel filter and water separator for the fuel coming out of the tank. That way I can make sure that I'm putting good fuel into my tractor and equipment. We should be all set here. We should have everything we need. The fuel tank, it came with these 4 mounting bolts right here, and it's got these little bushings on there. I probably will use these eventually, but right now, to save on time, I'm probably just gonna end up using these bolts that I bought. They want you to pre-drill them through the floor, and then basically you got these 4 studs sticking out, the tank drops on them, and then you're gonna go ahead and nut them. But like I said, I'm gonna be using these, so these should work out all right. Eventually, I'll probably switch them out for these anyway, just to save some time for today. I did buy a little diesel fuel sticker. I think this is like $1, just so I can keep this on here in case anybody uses my truck. They know it's diesel fuel only. So we're gonna go ahead and get this mounted. First thing I'm gonna do is open up this box. I'm gonna show you guys everything that's included in this box. This is a full kit that comes with everything you need. So it's got the pickup tube, it's got the handle, the hose, the pump, and the electrical. So everything's in here. It's even got the inline fuse as well. So I should have everything I need. So let me get this unboxed and I'll show you guys a little bit more what it looks like. Okay guys, so I got everything unboxed here. All of the pump stuff, it's all made by GPI, as you can see there. The pump itself, the motor, is actually powder coated. It's got a gray finish, which is nice. This is all cast aluminum. This housing here for the pump, it's got a strainer inside of it, built into it, so you could remove those 4 Phillips screws and pull the strainer out and clean it anytime you want. And that is to protect the pump mainly, just to keep debris out of the pump. And then it just threads right onto the tank here. That is the pump. It also has the wiring coming right out of it already. You got your power and ground. With the wiring came your fuse, so you got your inline fuse that's gonna go on your positive side. I'm gonna put mine directly to the battery. It also comes with a couple connectors here. You got a couple eyelets and a butt connector. And now to mount the pump to the tank, it's got this little adapter. So you'll thread this into the tank, and then your pump will go on top. And then before you put your pump on the top of this, you'll use this little gasket that they give you. So that's that. And then for the filter, I got this little inline filter. So this is your little inline filter housing. I did have to pick up a little nipple. I think this is a 3/4. And then I got some 3/4 to 1 inch bushings. So these will go on either side of the housing here. So one side with the nipple is gonna go to the pump, and then coming out of this other end here will go the rubber hose. Now this fuel hose is a really nice quality. It's actually quite soft and pliable, so that's good. And then lastly, we got our handle itself, or fuel nozzle. And as you can see here, it's got the lock right on it, so you can lock it, walk away, and have it pop off all on its own. Very nice handle. It's got a rubber, little rubber glove that goes over it. And you can see here on the top, it's got a little hook so that you can actually hang it off the pump. So that's everything that's included in this kit and everything that I bought today. So we're gonna go ahead and get this installed. First thing we're gonna do is use those bolts and bolt down the tank. Once you get the tank bolted down, we'll go ahead and get this pump mounted up. Okay guys, so for this tank, over on the left side here is your fuel fill cap. So this is where you're gonna be filling the fuel at, which is great because my fuel door is actually on the same side of the truck. So that's gonna make fueling things up easy. Whenever I get fuel or top off the truck, I'm just gonna put like $5 in here or $10 in here, and then that way I can just keep cycling the fuel through. So maybe a $5 or $10 extra every time I fill the tank up on a truck. I won't even really notice it, and I'll always have diesel on me. On the other side here, you can see we got this cap, and this is where the pump goes. I already did put about 15 bucks of diesel in here just so that we can get it bled and make sure everything works. And then I'll go back and top this thing off, you know, later in the week here. It's got 6 mounting tabs. So it's got 2 on this side, it's got 2 on the back side, and then it's got 1 on each side here. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on it now. I've got a 1/4 inch drill bit. I'm gonna get this pilot hole drilled through, and then we can go ahead and zip in these bolts. Okay guys, so now we got the tank all mounted in place. First thing we're going to be doing is installing this little adapter here, and this is going to allow us to mount the pump itself to the tank. Okay, now we got that all taped up. Go ahead and remove this cap. Go ahead and thread this in place. Now we can go ahead and mount the pump. Okay, so now we got this adapter in, we can go ahead and use this gasket. It's going to go on top. I've got my pump here. Go ahead and pull out the plastic cap on the end there. And we're going to have to insert this draw straw right here. So this is an adjustable straw. As you can see, it slides in and out. So this straw is going to go on the end here, and what I'm going to do is pull it all the way out, and then when I put the pump in, this is going to automatically adjust itself to where it needs to be inside the tank. That way this could always be touching the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and thread this in place, and we'll drop this pump in and tighten up the collar right here. We're not going to have to use any Teflon tape because of this gasket here, so we should be all set there. Oh, there it goes. Okay, that should be plenty. I've got my washer on here. I'm going to go ahead and extend this draw straw and drop the pump down in there. There we go. Okay, and before you tighten it, you're going to want to figure out exactly where you want your pump clocked. I'm going to clock mine diagonally, and then this way I can actually grab the handle from either side of the truck depending on where I want to grab it from. So that's all set there. I'm going to go ahead and tighten up this collar, and then we can go ahead and move on to the next step, which is going to be installing the nipple off the end here and the fuel filter. All right, so this is what the pump looks like mounted. I've got it nice and tight. Now what we're going to be doing is installing our fuel filter, or inline filter. This is the filter block, and to be able to mount this, we need to use a couple of bushings that I got here and this nipple. So the first thing we're going to be doing is threading this nipple into the pump here. And this is 3/4. This will go right into the pump. I've already got everything Teflon taped. So that's going to thread into there, just like that. And then what we're going to do is thread these bushings into either side of this block right here. And that's going to downsize this to 3/4 and allow us to hang the filter block off the end here. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and thread the bushings into the filter block. Now before we thread this onto our pump, we've got an in and an out on here. So we want to make sure we got the inside going towards the pump. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tighten all this up, and I'll get back with you guys as soon as it's tight. All right guys, so we have the fuel filter block all mounted up. I had to turn it just at a slight angle just so that my fuel filter will clear the tank. So it's at a slight angle, but there's nothing wrong with that. If I wanted it straight, eventually I'll probably end up going down and getting a larger nipple, like maybe next time I change this filter. If I get a little bit like an inch longer nipple, I'll be able to have this exactly straight up and down, but it's only off at a very slight degree. So I've got no problems with that. So now where we're at is connecting the hose. So what we got to do is Teflon each end. We'll thread one end into here, and then we're going to thread the other end into the handle here, and this handle just rests up in here just like that, and then that sits just like that. So we're going to go ahead and Teflon this hose, and we're going to get that installed next. Okay, that should be plenty. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten that up the rest of the way, and then we should be all set with installing the pump. And the last thing we got to do here is to install the wiring, which I have down in the corner here. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that next. All right, so I've got the hose on the handle nice and tight now. So now what I'm going to do is thread on the fuel filter. I've already lubed up the O-ring and the block here. So go ahead and thread that into place. I'm going to go ahead and hang our fuel nozzle. And now the last thing we need to do is install our wiring. So here's our wiring right here. We've just got a basic power and ground. So I'm going to run this right to the battery. So my plan here is to drill a hole pretty much in the corner here by the transfer tank, and I'm just going to drill a hole probably about 1/2 inch big. I'm gonna run this line right through it, and then I'm just gonna follow the frame rail all the way up into my engine bay where I have a battery right up here on the right corner, because my truck's got 2 batteries. I'm gonna use the one on the right side. It just makes more sense. That way I could just do a straight run right to it. So what I'm gonna do is drill that hole, and then I'll show you guys me connecting the battery. But every truck's gonna be different here. If I were you, I would just drill a hole through the bed, find the easiest path to get to your engine bay, and more than likely your best way to route it up there is to use the channel in the frame and just zip tie it along the way. So my plan is to have this wire just come straight down the side here. That way it's nice and clean. It's gonna come behind a pump right on the side of the tank, and we're gonna run it right down through that hole there. From there, it's just gonna follow the frame rail all the way up into the engine bay, where I'll show you guys me connecting it to the battery. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this wire down on through, and when I get to the battery with it, I will let you guys know. All right guys, so I've got the main harness run all the way down the frame rail up into the engine bay here. Here's our power and ground. So they give us 2 eyelets here that'll go on each end of the battery post there, right on the bolts, and they give us 1 butt connector. So I'm gonna go ahead and install that butt connector first. We have the inline fuse that we're just going to be tying to the positive wire here, and then we're going to just be tying the other end here to the battery positive. The negative is just going to go right to the negative, and we should be all set to try this out. And strip this. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my own butt connector because I got a shrink wrap type. I like these ones because they got the glue in them, and make sure that no water is going to get inside that connection. So I'll go ahead and tie these 2 together. Slide this one over first for the fuse, and then we'll get the other positive lead in here. Okay, that should be all set. Now we can go ahead and get our eyelets installed. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a piece of shrink wrap tubing on the end of the eyelets just to make a nice connection there. End crimped. Okay, there's the positive all done. Negative on there. Okay, we got the power and ground all done. Should be all set. Go ahead and connect these to the battery. All right, we should be all set to try this thing out. I'm just gonna go ahead and do a couple more zip ties. I'll probably put like 1 here and maybe a couple more just along here so that I can hold this nice and tight to this main ground cable right here, and we should be all set. So we're gonna go back there now and see if we can get this pump primed out and see how it works. Now what I'm gonna do is bleed the whole system out. It's probably gonna take a little bit. I'm just gonna remove the nozzle here, and I'm just gonna basically just dump it back into the tank here until I have it fully bled. And then once it's bled, I'll check for leaks, and if we ain't got no leaks, we should be all set. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on now and see what happens. Seems like it caught fuel pretty quick. It's gonna take a while to prime that filter. See what happens here. There we go. Wow, that pump's quick. It's just like a gas station. It's going everywhere. You see how fast that pumps. 15 gallons per minute. I'm sure those ones might be 20 or 25, but shuts off pretty quick. Nice. When you're all done, take it back over here, flip your switch, boom, done deal. All right guys, well here is the finished product. This is what it looks like inside the truck. You can see I can still access my toolbox just fine. Got my handles here. This tank really is the perfect size tank for what I needed. Because if you guys look, My toolbox comes right up to the end of my wheel wells here, so I couldn't get anything behind the toolbox because my toolbox only has about a 1/2 inch to come forward before it hits these wheel wells, since I have a short bed. So there was nothing I was ever going to put behind the toolbox. I didn't have the room for it. So I knew I needed a fuel tank that was going to go in between my wheel wells, and I knew I couldn't have it too high or else I couldn't access my handles here. So this really is the perfect tank. I think it's 18 inches high, 50 inches wide, and I think it's like 10 inches deep. So it's a 40-gallon tank. So perfect size tank for what I need. I'm never gonna need to carry any more than that anyway. You know, 40 gallons, that's plenty for me. You know, it's tucked up out of the way. I still have plenty of my bed to use here. And as you can see here, I could easily access the nozzle, grab it off there, flip your switch, and you're ready to pour. Bring it right down, you can fill up your stuff. It's perfect. And if I need to, I could actually get to it from the other side as well. I just stand up on a tire, I could lean over and grab this real easy. So really happy about it overall. You know, it was a really good deal. I got both the pump and the tank on sale. Super stoked that I have it. I've been wanting a fuel tank in my truck for basically since I bought the truck. I've been wanting one. You know, I knew I needed to get a toolbox first, do some other things, but really happy I have this transfer tank finally. It's gonna be really helpful on jobs, and just overall, it's a great product. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys are interested in getting one of these tanks, I got mine at Tractor Supply, and go check them out up there. This one's made by Better Built. Here is the sticker, main tag right here. So if you guys are looking for one, this is the HD model. They have them in black and white. They have the pumps there as well. Those pumps, again, they're made by GPI, and they're really, really good quality pumps. If you guys do this, get yourself an external filter like I did. That way you can make sure that you're pulling all the water out of it as you're filtering the fuel. So, all right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you guys in the next one.